Time to change the belts for the counter on this Sony TC-580. Now this is all direct drive. It's got 3 motors. 3 motor, servo controlled, electro bilateral, and it only has belts for this counter. So we're going to get into this and take it apart. First thing you do, pull off the head cover, which comes right off. Take off the capstan cover. Again, just pops right off. It's got those kind of clippy things sticking out there. And then we take the knobs off, and these are just knurled pot knobs here. So they pretty much pull right off. Depends on how long they've been on there. And then from there it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's another screw there. 5, 6. Looks like 6 screws. So let's get those out. Oh, but wait. Got these posts that hold on the cover for the heads that need to come off. And it requires a 7/32 deep well socket. And the unscrew like so, come right off. You also have 2 tiny washers on these posts. One is maybe nylon, the other is steel, or some kind of metal. The nylon one goes towards the unit. The steel one goes towards the shaft. And with everything disconnected, top cover lifts right off. Be careful though with these little metal inserts right there and there. Don't lose those. Now you can see where the belts go. Here's the counter. There's the belt you can see running behind here. Look how loose that is. It's so loose and stretched out, doing nothing. And it goes on this wheel. And another belt goes on another wheel over here. So let's get those replaced. I usually purchase belts that are the original replacements, but I figured for this counter, shoot, it's not going to make that much difference. I found this package of belts on Amazon. It's got an assortment of different sizes. So let's see if there's one in here that fits. I thought I might have to take off this assembly here, but no, you're able to get the belt to fit underneath the brakes. You can see the brake moving, this part here. See that moving? You get just enough clearance to get the belt to squeeze underneath and then pull off the top. Let's see how this other one works. This other one is much simpler. It just comes off here and comes off here, like so. All right, let's see if we have one that fits. Okay, the counter's working properly now. Put the belts in the reverse sequence, putting them on the wheel that has the notch in it. This one has a notch, and the one below the reel here has a notch. Put those on first, and then put them on the large wheel right there. That's the proper way to do it. Goes together easily. One minor issue is that the belts that came with it are round and these belts are square, but they seem to fit in the slot okay, and it seems to be working properly. You see the counters going here, so hopefully it'll hold up just fine. Next, I'm going to attempt to fix the problem with the capstan roller moving to the right position when going in forward or reverse play. And there's a little black wheel that you can see at the end of this lever here that goes into contact, and it's not going into proper contact. So I'm going to try replacing that with new rubber and see if that solves the problem. And then you have to remove these two springs. The spring was around this post. It's easily removed. The other spring is on this post. Again, easily removed. And then this whole assembly will lift right off, and then we can see what we can do. Okay, so I went by the manual and checked all the settings. There wasn't really much that needed to be adjusted. I was still having a problem with the braking. So I watched a couple of videos, saw where somebody was, I'll put a link in the description on this. You can make them out of these felt pads you can buy at Home Depot or wherever. This one was a little thick. I just happened to have this in the drawer here, so I ended up having to scale it down, slice it about half thickness, and that seems to work just fine. But then in the process, I found something really interesting here. This little white clip here on the mechanism that controls the brake. It's actually connected to a cam that's down below. The cam is right down below there, and it's got 5 different settings on it. You lift from this pin, you just pull up on it, and you can move it to one of those holes. And what that does is it moves the distance of the brake pad away from the cylinder to varying degrees, just slightly. You can move it a little bit in and out. So if you have a pad that's too thick, let's say, you could adjust it, pull the brake pad a little bit away. If the pad is worn, you could move it to another setting and move the pad a little bit closer. And that is a different function from this spring, which dictates how tight the pad is being pushed against the cylinder when it's engaged. So once I found this guy here, man, that's a game changer. You can maybe I didn't have to scale this brake pad down as far as I did. I could have just changed the cam setting here. So, and that wasn't in the manual. I didn't see it anywhere online. So just a little something for everybody to look at in the future. Here's a little run through of all the functions. Play, and when you see, I can push the stop. Stops real nice. Hit play again, starts right up. Stop. Fast forward. Here's the problem where the tape was spooling, coming off of the spool. Hit stop. Stops nicely. Go Go in the other direction. Stop. It tightens up a little better going in that direction, as you can see. Let's try that again. Forward. Stop. This way. Stop. See how that stopped a little bit more securely. Let's see, what kind of adjustment should we make on this? Maybe somebody knows. Let's try stop again. I'm guessing that this side needs to stop a little bit quicker. So I'm going to try making that little adjustment I just showed and see if that makes any difference. I moved the brake pad cam so that it's one notch tighter. Let's see if that makes a difference. Let's see if I remember which way I had to go. Let's see, I think it was in this direction. Yeah, I can hear us chattering a little bit. Okay, that did it. It sounds like it could be fine-tuned a little bit if I took the brake pad off and scaled it back a little bit, because it looks like it's the setting needs to be like half of what I did. Let's try it in the other direction again. Yeah, you can hear that the brake pad is bouncing a little bit. I think I'd rather have the little bit of bouncing chatter. I think I can live with that. And as time goes on, it'll probably wear it down a little bit. But I can live with that. And it didn't do as tight that time, did it? Let's try it again. That's unspooled it a little bit. So let me play around with that a little bit more, see what I can figure out. I put the cam back in the position it was, and I've gotten rid of the chatter. And what I also did is I adjusted the spring. I don't know if you can see it down there. There's a spring that you have a choice of 3 different positions. It was all the way to the bottom position. I put it in the center position, and that seems to have helped. That seems to have helped a little bit. Yeah, that works pretty good now. This is the direction where it was working really well. Yeah, really nice and tight. Nice and tight. This direction. Not quite as tight, but I think we can live with that. Yeah, all right, success. Putting it back together now. I've got all the screws just barely started. What I discovered is this doesn't fit together quite precisely. So you just want to start the screws just like for one thread and manipulate the panel a little bit here and there to get all the screws started. That's actually good practice for anything that you have to put back together. Get everything started. Don't tighten anything down until everything is going in nicely. Okay, here she is all put back together. It's a beautiful machine. Sounds really good too. Play, stop, fast forward, stop, play again. The bidirectional playing still doesn't run perfectly. That capstan pinch roller does not switch sides the way it's supposed to. And I think that's just a design flaw. I don't know if it ever works for anybody. There's the playing in the other direction, and see what the problem is because it doesn't switch sides. You have to physically go in there and move it. Now it works. So there you have it, a successful, almost 90%er, I'd say, since that bidirectional doesn't really work. If you just use a deck like this for going in a normal direction, the quality of the build, the direct drive motors, the sound quality, highly underrated, I would say, and you could probably pick one up at a decent price because people are unloading them because the bidirectional doesn't work. So just look at it as a regular standard stereo deck. Of course, it has this 7.5-inch reels, but it has that super low speed. If you have old tapes that you need to download or whatever, this would be a good way to go. All right, and there you have it.